Streaming cyberspace into your place from Lanier Raceway. YesterYear Racing, where past meets present, introduces 2009 to the now with the running of the Peachtree 150, the fourth round on the YesterYear Racing Tour Modified Series 2026 schedule. And you can witness all the green to checker action live as it happens right here on the Virtual Grip Network. So far this season, 3 races, 3 different winners. 2 of those winners, drivers, well, with reputations for championships. Eric Stout, the man who has been dominating the Red Light Racing League for several seasons. The other, James Lowe, who has done the same in the Bootleg Racing League. Based on their reputations coming into this season, fans, drivers, and pundits alike all figured that this season would be a battle of the 2 titans. But a third name has joined the championship conversation, that being Kid Lemon Lime, Luke Logan Allen. Allen sits atop the points, sharing it with Lowe. Now, Stout's inconsistency has him deeper in the standings. He's lurking in 5th, below familiar names of Chris Worrell and Todd Liston. This is the very first time the YesterYear Series has visited Lanier Speedway, but while new to this series, most of the drivers racing tonight are really familiar with this track. So pull the lever on the Lazy Boy and settle in for the excitement of simulated tour modifieds on what is known as Caffeine and Octane. From the state, Gladys Knight left on the midnight train to a warm Georgia. Hello and welcome on this Saturday night. It's April 21st, 2026. Hey, I'm joined by the institution, J.R. Shepard. I'm Bill Soupson, and we're high up in the VGN press box to bring you our Words Eye View. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders. Well, it is Repay Ryan Seneker. All right, JR, what do you know about this car? What do you know about this track?
Well, Soup, tonight I feel is going to be about eliminating mental fatigue. Lanier is a track that has long sweeping corners, short straights. That means that tonight these drivers will be turning left more than anything. And while you're constantly turning left, you will be nose to tail with your competitors out there. This is a short track, and it is difficult to get away from others. One small mistake could mean contact from the car behind, and it is super easy in these tour mods to make a mistake on this short flat oval. Here at Lanier, you want to get as close to the apron as possible to maximize the grip, and you also want to pick that throttle up as soon as possible and let the car drift out toward the wall on exit. If you can do that without making a mistake, it will be very difficult for your competitor to try to make a pass on you, which leads me to my next point. I think track position will be a big topic here tonight. In my opinion, this might be the most important race to have a good qualifying run. Soup, if you want a shot to win this race, you're going to have to start near the front.
Qualifying going on right now. Familiar names up on top. Eric Stout, a newcomer. Roger Hurley, not familiar with him. He's got the second fastest qualifying time right now. Brian Neff of late has been qualifying really good. He's up there as well. Some big names a little farther down. Well, they're hiding down there a bit. Kenny Allen looking good. I don't see James Lowe anywhere near the top. So we'll give you the rundown of the entire field in a minute. My partner was talking about qualifying being so important. There's some guys who are going to have to work really hard here tonight. JR, how far are we going?
Yeah, we're going to be doing 150 laps around this place. Now, that could go by fast, but if we get a lot of cautions, we do have a big field size here. It does tend to lead to a lot of contact, so that could slow the pace down. But 150 laps total. We do have an attempt at a green-white checkered, only one in this series. So, might not end under yellow. It might end under yellow. Depends on how things work out. We know we do get those late race cautions. We do have waiver rounds turned on tonight. Lucky dogs are on, and we do have double file restarts along with a very important tire set that is in the pits. These drivers might just need that tonight. But again, I think track position is going to be the bigger story than pitting to get tires.
Boy, it's going to be hard to give up the track position to come in to get fresh rubber. This will be good. This is round number 4 of a 15-race schedule. So this one and 11 more. We talked about Eric Stout being buried down in the standings. Well, buried 5th by his position is hardly buried, but certainly plenty of time for him to make it up. Waiting for everybody to grid up here. Qualifying time is... And there we go. We can go ahead and give you the grid right now. On the pole, we talked about it, is Eric Stout, and then this guy we don't know. Roger Hurley. Watch out for him in the 77. We'll learn about him as the race goes on.
Inside row 2, a driver that does know how to get around this track, Brian Neff, and on the outside, Eric Essery.
Well, in the Allen family tonight, it's going to be Papa Kenny getting the best qualifying. He'll start in 5th. The whirlwind Chris Rural outside of him.
Rolling off in 7th, we got Scott Negus and a really good qualifying run. 8th place, Chris Hazlett.
My goodness, the Racing Rev on fire here at Lanier. A.J. Hamill will be starting in 9th with veteran Todd Liston in 10th.
Rolling off in 11th, we got Jeff Lemire, and outside in 12th, James Lowe.
Torrance Childs gets the Baker's Dozen position. Series organizer Alan Wanamaker in 14th.
Inside row 8, we got Todd Cousins. On the outside, Josh Buckley.
17th and 18th, Gavin Adams and Brian Johnson.
Rolling off in 19th, we got Robert Garisco, and in 20th, Brian Bianchi.
With an ace and a face card, it's Jerry Isaacs. In the double duck spot, the rum runner, Glenn Jameson.
And last row on the grid, rolling off 23rd tonight, Luke Logan Allen, tied for the current points lead. Got a lot of work to do. And on the outside, Tom Hilbert.
So James Lowe down in 12th. Kid Lemon Lime in 23rd. And their biggest competitor, at least coming into this season, Eric Stout, will up the order. Gather up the chickens, they coming on the cows, the horses are out of the barn. And the question is, who is this newcomer and how fast is he? Eric Stout out in front. Neff in second. Roger Worley stuck on the outside, fighting for third. On the inside, that's Kenny Allen.
Yeah, Ken Allen. Oh, up already. Neff is already going around. No caution yet. He goes back up into traffic and gets Chris Hazlett, and that spins several other drivers, so the caution is out.
Neff got that great qualifying. He was in second when it happened. And I'll tell you right now, you get a car spinner from second position on lap 2, and you get away lucky on this one.
Yeah, and we didn't talk about this a whole lot in the opening, but the track conditions did change slightly from practice into the race. It's a little bit darker, a little bit cooler temperatures, and that does tend to make these Tour Modifieds a little bit nosy, meaning that front end has grip. And I don't think Neff anticipated that big of a change. He drives off into the corner here, and you can see the front end grips and the rear end just comes right around on him. So something these drivers are going to have to think about while they have cold tires.
Interesting. Tough break for the veteran Brian Neff.
How to find the right car for you. Go to Cars.com. Look at the car you like.
Ciao.
Ciao. Find your next possibility on Cars.com.
Big day. Keep calm. Keep your composure. That means no matter what, time to lock in.
Push the pace, thread it.
Show me your game face. All right, we'll work on it. What does victory sound like? 1, 2, 3.
Together!
I think we can talk to Brian. Director, he's down there. Can you pull him up into the booth? We'll get a contact. Yes, we're going to talk to Brian Neff, who just wrecked. That's against VGN policy, but I'm breaking the rules. Let me know when we got him here. Brian, it's soup. You get the cold tires catch you by surprise? What happened there?
Yeah, cold tires, stupidity.
Good qualifying run. Well, you're not used to starting so far up front. Now you're back there where you feel more comfortable. Go get him.
Yeah, I might take some fuel this time so I don't run out.
All right, well done. Go get him, Brian Neff. Well done. Good sport to talk to us after that. Page 17 on the VGN Commentator's Handbook says, do not call into an interview a man who just had an issue. But Brian's a good guy. We go racing now for real. Working lap number 7. Stout out in front. The mystery man, number 77, Roger Hurley, racing in second. On the outside, Kenny Allen, who has been really effective of late. Let's see if that outside line can get it done. And Allen powers around.
Yeah, absolutely. Allen had tons of speed during practice, and he just exhibited one of the things that we're going to be talking about tonight. This is one of those tracks definitely where that outside line will work better than that inside when you're side by side.
Oh, we got another caution, a self-spin. This is little brother Tommy Hilbert. Looped it around right in front. You know, when we take another look at this one, let's go ahead and look at it from Brian Neff's point of view, because it happened right in front of him.
He knows exactly what caused that. He himself had the same problem, and it's really difficult to tell the viewers at home how easy it is to do that. You know how these cars are driving. You know that they're going to get, sideways on you early when the tires are cold, but it still happens. It catches you off guard, and Neff doing a fantastic job to not have contact made. I don't know how he didn't have contact there.
That's a great point, as Neff knows can well, not so much sympathize, but can empathize with what just happened there, as he just had that happen to him earlier. All right, coming into this race, I was talking before we went live on air, I was talking to the boys. I said I got a bad feeling about this one. We could be a little bit messy. I don't want to think something into fruition, but so far, Stoop's spidey sense has been right on. Gives us an opportunity to look for a big mover. 7th place is up for Brian Bianchi. Jerry Isaacs as well. The Rum Runner, Glenn Jameson, up 7 spots. Well, we've had one start, we've had one restart, and now we're going to have our second restart. Each time, Eric Stout's been on the inside, but he's had a different man to his outside each time. This time, it is his big rival, Kenny Allen. Allen with a good jump as he tying the flag perfectly. We saw him work around the top when he had to get around Hurley. Let's see if he can do it around Stout. That's a little bit of a different animal, and it doesn't quite work this time.
It is tougher when you got someone as disciplined as Stout. He was making sure he was keeping that car real close to that inside yellow line. That is where the grip is, but you have to be patient with it.
There's single file for the front 4, 5, or 6. Double file, the first one we're looking at on the outside. That's Todd Liston in the 87. Down and below, that's Scott Negus.
Yeah, and right now, these drivers, they want to be single file because that's where they can kind of go with driving the car at the pace that they know they need to, taking care of the tires. Todd Liston, he's stuck on that outside. The outside will be preferred, and it can open up passing opportunities like A.J. Hamill is seeing right here. That's why he's going to the outside, but you've got to make that pass quick. You do not want to be stuck on that outside for 3, 4, 5 laps. It'll start to heat up that right front.
Some great directing work there from Ryan Seneker as we were on board in what we like to call the popcorn position, watching the show with A.J. Hamill, and sure enough, he watched Todd Liston get the best of it, then he decides to go around the top. Negus, though, is a tough customer. Negus continues to fight on the inside, Hamill on the outside. Watching now from behind, here comes James Lowe in the black number 07.
Yeah, and that's probably not what he wants to see out of his windshield. His 2 cars going side by side this early in the race because he did have a bad qualifying run, so he's wanting to be careful as he comes through the field here. But contact is so easy to be made here. Now, Scott Negus is going to get that position. Now, James Lowe is going to be the inside of Hamill.
Ready to gear up? What happens when gravity meets 2 wheels? Well, that depends on what you put beneath them. Mountains, forest, desert. Where are you going to put gravity to the test? Where's your backcountry? Get the best selection of Gearhead-approved MTB gear at backcountry.com.
Hercules delivers professional performance and durability at prices that pull their weight. New tools, innovative technology, and a hassle-free warranty to back it up. Hercules, only at Harbor Freight.
Hamill said, well, come on, I saw Liston get around him on the top side, but it's not quite working as well. A.J. Hamill with plenty of talent to get it done. James Lowe frustrated. Lowe probably happy that this race is a little longer than a normal one, 150 laps compared to our usual fare of 100. That's going to give him 50 extra laps to get to the front.
No, and AJ with a slight bobble there, getting a little too high on corner exit, barely touching the wall. That allowed Lowe to get by. And that's where I talked about in the opening, it's about eliminating mistakes. If your car's right behind somebody when they make a mistake, it's a super easy pass. And that's what you're hoping for as you're following somebody around this racetrack, is them to just make some little mistake to allow you a pass.
Okay, Director, this gives us an opportunity. Let's check in on one of our points leader, Luke Logan Allen. Racing back in what would be 18th position right now. He sees an opportunity. No sooner do we get the camera on him than he gets into Gavin Adams. Adams saves it. We don't go to a caution. My goodness, they are scrambled out, fanning out all over the place. Luke Logan Allen gets a horrible result as he drops position. Oh, and another spin up in front. That's Gavin Adams again. And it still doesn't bring out the caution. He spins twice in one lap without bringing out the yellow. That's quite a feat.
And that's another thing that we have not talked about. It is a characteristic of Lanier. You will see the spins at Lanier, and when the spins are to the infield, they are below that yellow line. It doesn't bring a caution out. So the reason I mentioned that is we stay green, but the leaders have to be looking ahead, because there could always be some danger that's happening ahead of them that they're not aware of, because we are still green.
Let's ride on board, looking out the tail of Gavin Adams, who's racing in 17th position. Why do we care about this? Well, after all that nonsense, look who's right behind him. Here comes Eric Stout. Now, Stout, try as he might, has not been able to shake Kenny Allen. But those two guys have really driven away from the field. Eric Ezray, who has been really effective as late. You can see back there, there's Stout, there's Allen, and then the third car back is Ezray. Ezray's had a couple good results of late, so he's starting to come on.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing I liked about the view we were watching there back at our leaders is it really looks like Ken Allen is being more disciplined at this stage of the race. It looks like he's really holding his car in a nice line. He's not overdriving it. I think it's evidence we keep it up.
That was Gavin Adams, who's having quite a time. Stout wants to get around him before something's happened. He was sideways again.
And that's very uncomfortable for the leaders when you get there. He's going to back out and let these leaders go for the most part here. Ken's still going to be stuck on his outside a little bit. But, yeah, if you're around a lapped car and you see them start to get out of shape, it is super uncomfortable, because you just don't know what they're experiencing and which direction they're going to go.
Let's jump up to Luke Logan Allen. He's back in amongst it again now. That's Todd Cousins that he just got around. He's right behind Torrance Childs. Nice battle going on here.
Yeah, Luke's been trying to work some different lanes here. He's trying that outside. He's trying to find some way to make some passes. It's very difficult to do it around here. We've seen a couple of guys be able to. But this is not one of those tracks where you can just go to the outside and immediately make a pass. So he's working it over. He's trying to figure it out. At this point, it's not looking great 40 laps in. But if we get cautions at a timely point in this race, Luke Logan is one that will take advantage of that. He'll do something different to try to get some track position.
Now, granted, Kid Lemon Lime didn't have a great qualifying, so maybe he's not feeling it tonight. But I think what this points out is the difficulty that he's having getting around drivers like, well, Brian Neff was good qualifying as well, but let's take a look at the guy who's leading this train. The 28, and Neff gets him!
Yeah. Oh, Ken Allen, you see him on the screen, almost gets into Roger Hurley, who was one of the leaders, piles in there. I don't think he's going to have any damage, but obviously going to lose some positions from that. We watched the replay here. Neff trying to get to the inside of Garisco, and this is something that we will see at Lanier many times. One driver is able to keep it hugged right against that yellow lane, the other driver not quite to the bottom, and with these modifieds, you get that Nerf bar, that bumper that just sneaks to the inside and contact is made.
And look at him go high, look at him go low. Everybody's managing it until they get to Hurley. And my partner talks about it all the time. It's all about vision. I'm not sure if Roger could really, if he actually knew where to go there.
It would be difficult. We're riding on board with Ken Allen, who was in second place, and see, you don't see anything. That wreck has already taken place. You cannot see it till right there, and you see him lift, but he still doesn't know which direction to go. He chooses to go to the inside and is actually sideways, trying to keep himself from wrecking into the inside wall, and did a fantastic job. I don't know how he didn't lose control there.
Spring. It's time to run it. Run it until the grass becomes a lawn, until the hedges duck and cover. Then, run it again.
For over 40 years, wherever great sound is in demand, Sweetwater has provided the gear and the know-how to help music makers sound their best. From your local stage to sold-out stadiums, all the gear you need. Advice from people who get it.
Not only did he not lose control, he didn't lose a position.
Yeah, that's what, it pays to be fast, but it pays even more to be lucky in these races sometimes. So Ken Allen's got both tonight.
So while it hasn't gotten our leaders, we have lost Brian Neff, who was in second at the time of that spin. Hurley, I think, was racing in about fourth position. We're about ready to go green one more time. All right, let's see what Ken Allen can do. Whoa, he's better this time than he was at the last restart. Now he's even with them down the back straight. Better restart this time. He's making Stout work a little harder. I think Stout's going to get it, but Stout's working harder than before. They get it sorted out.
Yeah, he's going to get back down into second. Todd Liston even gave Ken a shot down the straight, trying to get him to, have a little more momentum going into the corner, but it just wasn't enough. That outside lane is not worked in under cold tires yet. Todd Liston still trying to get to the inside, and there's just nowhere for him to go at the moment.
So that's Whirl on the inside. Right behind him is the Whirlwind's teammate of James Lowe. Tied for the point lead right now. Liston is begging somebody, open the door, Richard, and let me in, but that's not going to happen.
It's just not at the moment, and this is where, I talked about, you do not want to be stuck on that outside for, a handful of laps. It will start to overheat that right front tire. Todd Liston knows that, and look at what he did. He worked hard to get that pass done, and now he can get back down to the inside.
Well, that was do or die for the 87. He gets that pass made, or he doesn't find the inside till who knows when, because they are lined up right behind. Let's look at this train behind the Whirlwind. His partner, James Lowe. Oh, they are literally to the accordion effect there. That's A.J. Hamill. Behind him, Josh Buckley. Jerry Isaacs was up front, stuck on the outside. Look who is up. All the way up to 9th spot, it's Kid Lemon Lime.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to point out, Soup. That restart could not have come at a better time for him, because he has made his starting position pay off for him. He's been on that outside, but he's been making passes. And right now, almost having contact with Jerry Isaacs that's going to pay off for him. He's going to be able to get down in line again.
Gets it again. What I like working with you, JR, is you notice stuff that I don't. And of anybody, again, Allen just not scared to go up top. Nobody goes up there, and he's just going to try to make it work.
He does it every week, and we've commented on it in multiple races, not just in this series, but other series. And he finds a way to make grip in areas that other people are not. And, at the end of the day, if you follow the leader, that's all you're going to do. If you find another way to get around the track that the leader's not using, then you have a shot to win. And Luke Logan does it each and every week. He's trying to find grip in a place that nobody else is finding it.
It's fascinating to watch. Okay, we've had ourselves a nice green flag run now. My partner said passing was going to be at a premium, and indeed it is. And that's what's really effective for Allen, who can race, who can be fast where nobody else is.
And it definitely makes it easier. And I can tell you, from watching Ken Allen up front, I can definitely see that his son's probably been giving him some tips, or they've been exchanging some information back and forth, because I've noticed a difference in Ken Allen's racing line as well, and Ken has picked up a ton of speed recently.
We're looking, he's still working. He almost got loose. We're watching Luke Logan Allen, that's the son, working now around Josh Buckley, and he gets another spot done on top. Thinking, okay, if the kid can do it, I can do it. Isaacs does the same. Buckley's had an issue. Josh has pulled it off to the inside and coming down pit lane.
Yeah, definitely odd. There may be something going on that we don't know with his hardware or, steering. Something like that could have led to that, but definitely a tough break. He was inside the top 10.
So big movers. 16th spot for Luke Logan Allen. Jerry Isaacs up 11. We'll keep an eye on him.
Yeah, just to kind of touch on what Luke Logan's been doing, the reason why he's been able to make some of those passes compared to others, if you watched, he was getting very close to that inside car on corner entry, and it is super difficult to do because it's so easy. We see right here on the screen where we're watching these two guys go at it, so easy to make wheel-to-wheel contact, but the lower on the track you are, the more grip there is going to be, and that's why you try to get as close to that inside car. Luke has been making that work. Some of these other drivers struggling a little bit with it.
All right, here we go, right? Finally, big game. Stay calm, stay composed, and
just remember, no matter what,
there's never been another duck like you. Time to lock in.
Push the pace, thread the needle.
We have to stick together.
Show me your game face.
All right, we'll work on it. Will it be easy? No. Is it going to be worth it?
Yes! Don't forget,
you're a bird of prey, a majestic,
beautiful soccer gazelle. Go!
What does victory sound like?
Together on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Together!
We look at that two-wide battle. I was doing a broadcast, actually it was last night, with Josh Buckley, and he was talking, you mentioned about the Allens, father and son, sharing information, that they are truly peers when it comes to racing. They are sharing information, and dad is listening to his young son, who is still preteen, getting tips, and it's a great dynamic between the two.
It absolutely is, and the thing is, they are still two different drivers. They still have two separate driving styles, so you can share information, but you got to be careful with it. They're doing a nice job with it, and I can tell you from experience, working with my dad in the past, his driving style is completely different than mine. He cannot drive the car the way that I do, so you have to be careful with it. Make sure you're sharing information that helps you and doesn't hurt you.
Let's go back and look at Negus. We're watching it right now. Negus on the outside. Bianchi on the outside, Negus on the inside. That's been going on for a while.
No, and you see contact coming out of the corner. Negus gets a little bit loose there, so Bianchi's going to prevail, but that is something you fight with side by side. As the temperature comes up in these tires, we've been green flag for a long time, it starts to make these cars very wobbly, very loose under throttle as you're coming out of the corner. With that car on the outside, you just can't chase it out to the wall the way you could when you were single file. So that's what you're going to see as cars get side by side late in the run.
Boy, you expressed technically what I was just feeling in my heart. The outside line may be the better way around, may be faster, but if you pin somebody down low, you're risking getting caught up in their spin, because the inside line is having a hard time when they get pinned down, keeping it low.
Yeah, absolutely. And what, the typical characteristics, we saw it earlier, these cars do get loose early in the run, getting into the corner. That looseness stays with the car on corner entry as you go throughout the whole run, but it gets slightly better And the reason why that hurts you is because it actually makes the car tight. As you're starting to tighten up on corner entry, you get tight through the center of the corner, and that makes you put more wheel into it. And if a car's on your outside, you put a little extra wheel into it, and eventually those front tires, they're going to grip and the rear end snaps on you. So drivers have to be thinking about that, and you have to be very patient. That's where I talked about that mental fatiguing issue that comes into this race. You get a little bit complacent about how to drive this car, and then you make a mistake.
And a battle up front. That is Whirl and Liston, and he's going to Whirl is going to bring his partner James Lowe in with him. So Liston drops from 3rd to 5th. Although Liston is fighting hard.
That's what I was going to say. He's going to fight hard here. Lowe may get him on this one, but Liston is doing what we talked about. He's staying as close as he can to James Lowe, particularly through the center of the corner, to try to get a good run on exit. But I think James is going to have the advantage through 1 and 2 here.
Let's go look at the leaders as they're dealing with some lap traffic now. That's Garisco, Robert. We saw him before. He was a lapped car and he was forced down the inside. They had to go around the outside. This time he's going to be able to get to the top and let them go underneath.
And that's a good decision here for anybody that's watching at home that's had to experience that. This particular track, it is much better when you're the slower car on that outside. It's just way too difficult to keep your car down on the bottom when you're having, some handling issues.
Gets a little scary there as James Lowe almost got into him, but they are going through. Garisco has a black flag. He's probably like to get down low and try to serve it. That's not the way that he wants the cars to go underneath him, and he can't make pit lane.
Oh, yeah, but he, luckily for, we talked about it being Lanier, anytime you're under that yellow line, there's a good chance the caution's not going to come out. So he was able to get himself towed and off the track surface before that was bad. But very easily could have been contact from a car behind, just not understanding that he was there.
I've been in that situation, and sometimes it's a relief just to get the car stopped, even though you just hit pit entrance.
One of the things, we're looking back up front, we talked about the leaders going through traffic. It looks like, when you're the leader, you're kind of, tentative about catching that traffic and where you're going to be going, but it looks like it's actually paid off for Eric Stout a little bit here. He's been able to open up a half-second lead, which is about the biggest lead we've seen throughout the whole race.
Let's look at the 77 of Roger Hurley. He just got high and lost a couple positions there. Now he's back. He's in 5th. Maybe he didn't lose one, but he was close to losing them. JR, when you're fortunate enough to do several different series, bootleg and red light racing league, and then I come in here and I see the talent. The talent in this series, there are big names from all the guys. I look down here: Stout, Allen, Whirl, Lowe, Liston, Hamill. These guys are great.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talked about it. You have the individual series that, contact from YesterYear getting under Isaacs there a little bit. It looks like they get it straightened out. But, typically we watch these different divisions and you have the standout drivers in those divisions. The one thing about the YesterYear Racing League is we're bringing a bunch of divisions together, a bunch of different leagues together.
Yeah.
You get top name drivers that know how to get it done on these short tracks, and you're putting them together. And the reason why, Bianchi making a little contact there. I'll stop talking here in a minute, but the reason why this is exciting is because a lot of these top name drivers don't get to race with each other typically. So this is where they do it, and there's a lot of unknowns. You do not know how to race that driver. You've got to learn it, and a lot of times in that learning curve or learning process, there is contact made. So that's why this is very exciting. This is as real as it gets. This is the best of the best on iRacing.
Partner, don't you worry about getting off the mic. You talk all you want. I enjoy every word. Great battle here, Bianchi. That car is all over the place. He's sawing on the wheel. Now let's look at this battle for second.
Yeah, Ken's going to have to be smart here. If he can keep him back, he's going to have to push hard on that outside. If not, he's going to have to be looking for that hole that's starting to close up behind World, but he gets it done. He's going to maintain second position.
1 second you're tucking them in, the next, your heart's racing.
The police are on their way.
Until you remember, you're protected.
We are working lap number 102. On the same set of rubber, JR, are they beginning to feel it now?
Oh, the handling of these cars has changed drastically, and, I touched on it a little bit. The big issue they're experiencing right now is the tightness through the center of the corners, trying to get that car to rotate, and that's one of the reasons why we're watching Ken out. We see it's where to get loose on entry. That looseness on entry is still there, especially when you get on the brakes hard. And we even see Todd Liston bobble there because he got a little bit outside of the groove. So handling on the cars is definitely changing. But touching on Ken Allen, I think Ken Allen has completely given up on using the bottom of the track because of that handling change. He's actually running one lane higher on purpose and trying to find some extra grip and to get some speed going. Watch him here as he goes in to turn 3 and 4. He is running a lane higher, and that has allowed him to maintain a little bit of a gap on World.
I'm telling you, if you're thinking about getting a snack from the kitchen, hang on for just a minute because a caution is coming. These guys are really hurting. Look at this battle right here.
Yeah, and the only thing that's bad, with Ken Allen trying to do that line, we saw it right there. He's going to lose that position, but it's because that inside car is going to push up into you, and there was some slight contact that bobbled both drivers, but ultimately affected Ken Allen a little bit worse there. So that's the risk with choosing that outside lane. It allows that driver to get underneath you, and you just don't know exactly where they're going to go.
You're looking at that battle. You can see right now, watch, coming to the bottom of your screen, that's Esri, who just made a pass on Roger Hurley, and now we've got a caution. It's not Gavin Adams again, is it? Am I looking at the deja vu is what I thought I was looking at there when I went to the replay, right in front of Brian Bianchi.
Yeah, and you see he got loose on corner entry, so very much similar to where we were on cold tires. These cars are still loose on corner entry. They've got that push through the center, and then they kind of get loose from the center off as you apply that throttle. And it looks like the track surface is also getting a little bit slicker because a lot of these drivers are moving around.
We got pit stops. Not from Chris Worrell, not from James Lowe.
Yeah, I feel soup like we've seen this before. So we're allowing some drivers to take control of this race, and I think track position is just going to be so difficult tonight. But the one thing that we don't know is how these drivers are experiencing the handling changes. Maybe Eric feels like his car changed enough that this is going to give him the edge to maneuver through traffic.
So here's the guys. Now I have news for you. Stout comes in, Allen comes in, Liston, Negus. Now the guys who stayed out are the top 5, but really something we missed on. We talked about Esri, and maybe this is can give a little bit of insight why these guys came in for a stop. Esri is up in 3rd, and he was coming even before this caution. He came in for tires on lap 40, lap 44. So he's got about 43 laps fresher tires than the rest of these guys.
Yeah, it absolutely looks like it was paying off as we get ready to go green. We'll have to keep an eye on those that just came down pit road.
All right, so we have drivers on different agendas. Right now we have teammates. Aunt Mary Alice is watching on. They bumped these teammates. Usually they're very friendly. Usually they do not rough each other up. In fact, usually it's Chris Worrell, the Whirlwind, who surrenders to the elder like the captain of the team. Not this time. Look at Worrell make Lowe work. All this going on behind the guy with the fresher rubber. That's Esri. Now, how about the... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, on the high side, you see Eric Stout. That was a gift to him being able to start on the outside. It kind of kept him out of the mess, and now he's going to get freed up here. So we'll see what kind of speed he's got. It may take 5 or 6 laps because these tires have cooled down, so those drivers that have been out there for a long time do have some grip right now, but that grip's going to start to go away.
Making hay while the sun is shining is Teapot, Eric Stout on top. Todd Liston came in for rubber. He's going to follow that champion around the high side. There's a hornet's nest behind him, but they keep it going straight.
Yeah, and I like Eric. He's trying to look for some room. He sees Worrell's already trying to remake that pass for the lead up there, but there's just not a lot of grip, and in doing so, it's going to allow Todd Liston to go around the outside.
Oh, Teapot gets into the back. Stout gets into the back with a whirlwind, but Chris Worrell keeps it going straight. That's allowed Todd Liston to roll around the top. Liston now with a ton fresher tires than James Lowe. Aunt Mary Alice, oh my goodness, your nephew's going to have his hands full with Todd Liston on fresh rubber. Yes, James Lowe is talented, but Todd Liston is no slouch. Look at him diving, and he gets the car sideways, and he saves it.
Oh, that was awesome. That was Todd sending it in there, and he maintained control even though he was sideways. That was great to see. Todd is digging for it, but that's allowed Eric Stout to get back to him.
3, 2, 1, action!
You've got ideas, a new project, a renovation that's been waiting. Bauer gives you the tools you need to build, fix, and upgrade at prices that deliver more for your dollar. Bauer, heavy duty guaranteed.
Brian Bianchi runs up on the back of Tom Hilbert, was trying to get out of the way, but they keep it going straight. Liston making another move. He got it loose through here the first time. This time he gets it done. The good news is he's got the lead. The bad news is Eric Stout is right behind him.
Yeah, absolutely. Now it's going to be tough. Caution is out on the Speedway.
Where is this coming from? I haven't found it yet, but our director will certainly find it. Oh, it's Chris Worrell.
Yeah, Worrell's on the inside of Brian Bianchi. They kind of, locked, tires coming off the corner, almost created a wreck. They got it straightened out, but as they go down into the corner here, we can see the contact being made from behind by Jeff Lanier. And that's more than anything from, Worrell actually almost having a very bad night there. Gets it collected, but more than anything, that's Worrell trying to get the car collected, going into the corner slower than what Lanier was able to, and contact was made. So it's just a coming together with a lot of action happening there.
James Lowe has made his bed, and he will just sleep in it. It is a bed of worn rubber.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, even if he came now, he's going to have way less than 20 laps. We're going to be somewhere around 17 laps to go when we go green. He's just not going to have the time to make it up, and he may even get caught up in an accident in doing so. But these drivers behind, they are going to have the grip, and they are going to be on attack mode.
We won't bother Todd Liston. But JR, if you were him, you want the inside line or the outside line? He's going to take the inside.
Well, unfortunately in this series, the leader does not get to choose
no choice.
Where he starts. I would most definitely want that outside lane. But the only thing that Todd has going for him is he does have new tires. We saw Eric Stout early in the race be able to hold that lead on the restarts on that inside lane. So the fresh tires will help here.
Do you know why they don't get choice of lanes? Because this mimics 2009. We go green. That rule wasn't in exist. Teapot trying to roll around the top. Liston do all he can to fend him off. Fighting hard. Also up on top, look, Kenny Allen is back.
Yeah, Ken Allen is charging hard, and he had a lot of speed early in the run at the beginning of the race. We know there's some contact and stuff going on the racing surface, and the leader's going right into it.
Liston found him. Is there no caution still? Finally.
Yeah, the caution's finally out, but this is something I cannot explain how terrible of a feeling it is when you're the drivers that are out there, but you have no idea the caution is out. You have a hard enough time with visibility inside the cockpit here. We see that initial contact between Wanamaker and the 27 of Brian Johnson. It collected several cars, including Luke Logan Allen. He's that blue car that's trying to get it collected there.
So Allen does a good job of getting out of the way. Then there's Garasco, who pulls up in I know you're supposed to keep the brakes on, but Garasco's sitting in a tough position. I guess he could have kept it down low.
Well, and the other side of that, we talk about the leaders. We see them approaching the wreck. They don't know the wreck is there until it's too late. The other thing from the drivers that are involved and spun, they assume that the caution is out. And we see Todd Liston, his night's going to be done. But, yeah, you assume that if you're in the wreck and you're spun on the racetrack that the caution's out. So you're turning around like you normally do, and it leads to this.
A reasonable assumption after all that time after the spin that Garasco would think that he is safe to get the car turned around. One of the advantages was working with JR. He always sees the other side of the coin.
I've seen too many bad sides, Soup. I feel for those drivers. I know what it's like.
Okay, to drill down on the point I was trying to make, it was going green. This series mimics the year of 2009, and the pick your lane rule was definitely not in effect. That's a much more recent rule. So that's why Stout now pinned on the inside. Kenny Allen, these guys have been racing hard. Let's see who gets the best out of it. The laps are clicking away.
Yeah, Ken tried and just was not able to get grip through turns 1 and 2. He is going to come out in second place. James Lowe is going to be able to capture third, which is surprising on those older tires. We'll have to see if we get a long enough run where the drivers with the fresh rubber can get back up there.
I don't think we're done with cautions yet. They are racing hard. Bianchi is being pestered. Todd Liston somehow, and Bianchi gets in his way. Todd's coming. Let me through. I had a rough night.
I'm amazed that he didn't get suspension damage out of that, but I guarantee you that the tow on that car is different than what it was prior, and that could be an advantage. We talk about these drivers getting loose on corner entry. That could tighten him up to where he's got more security and able to really drive it in.
I was in second fighting for the lead, came up on an accident that wasn't of my making. I got pushed back, but I'm still working hard. Meanwhile, nothing going on with the front three. They are single file. We'll keep an eye on them if actions happen, but this is where the action is. Liston, you got a feel for the guy.
Yeah, just terrible luck. Having a great run, leading late in this race, and to have that happen, it makes you mad. I guarantee he's driving a little bit on some anger, which I've always felt maybe just a little bit faster.
Now the front six gets sorted out into single file. Not much going on. The paddle is back here. That's Negus working on the inside of Jerry Isaacs.
Oh, and there's a caution.
I think it involves Jeff Lemire and Kevin Adams. It wasn't Adams' fault this time. Let's see if we can find it. There it is.
Oh, yeah, that was late, but there was contact on the high side there entering the corner. I don't know if there was something going down on the bottom prior to what we were getting into there, but don't think Gavin's happy about it.
If your next golf trip includes the whole family, head to Scottsdale, Arizona, where fun and adventure are just a tee time away. In the heart of the Sonoran Desert, enjoy spacious resorts, world-class spas, and over 200 incredible golf courses. New to the game? Scottsdale has top-tier instruction for all ages. Come for the golf, stay for the memories. Start planning at experiencescottsdale.com.
Oh, they're going the wrong way. Oh, here we go. Okay. Oh, this is a replay.
Yeah, definitely odd to be entering the corner that high, but
yeah,
I will say that I know Gavin Adams is multiple laps down. Jeff Lanier is a lead lap car, so there may have been some frustration there.
But in defense now, I'm going to jump in defense of my fellow back marker there. When your lap's down, I'm going to put the car up high. I'm leaving you low down. I'm leaving you room down low. I'm slow, but at least I'm out of your way. You can't be upset with me being up here.
Yeah, there wasn't much of another place that he could go there. So I agree with you. But yeah, this suit is going to lead us into green-white checker territory. We only get one attempt at this, so this will be the last restart of the race.
So here's what's interesting, I think, for James Lowe. I think all these late cautions really were to his advantage. As less laps that we race where he can be passed, the better, because he's out there on, well, he's never stopped. He's out on their 148 lap old tires compared to other guys who've been out there for 37 laps. So I don't know if James is going to get a podium or not. He can do some amazing things. Let's see. Let's look now for the win. Oh, Alan puts it in the wall. Oh, and we got a spin. And that's the end of the race. I don't know how, do not know how iRacing is going to score this, but I think there's a horseshoe stuck in one of the orifices of James Lowe. I think he's going to get himself a second place. Coming around. Is this the checkered flag here? Going underneath it. Eric Stout gets the win of the Peachtree 150. James Lowe, your points leader, finishes second. Todd Liston, bless his heart, is back for a podium. Sometimes the racing gods are cruel, and then they are also kind. All right, the racing is over, but our broadcast is not. We'll take a short break. We'll come back, talk to some of the drivers, run down the entire order of the field before we put a lock here on this Georgia gate. Don't go far. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network. Welcome back to YesterYear Racing League, where past meets the present. And we are at Lanier Raceway for the Peachtree 150, the fourth round of the YesterYear Racing Tour Modified Series. It's the 2026 schedule. The results are in. Let's give them to you now here on the Virtual Grip Network. Well, he started on the pole. He gets the win. He led 129 laps of the 150 that we raced. He came into this race fifth in the points. He'll move up a tiny bit. We're talking about Eric Teapot Stout. James Lowe racing, the only driver other than Brian Johnson to not make a pit stop tonight for new rubber. Somehow he manages a second position. I think all the late cautions really helped him keep that position at the end. Todd Liston was racing for the win, ran into trouble coming out of turn 4, somehow managed to get himself a podium finish. I think everybody is happy for Todd for that one. Behind that is Kenny Allen and Alan Wanamaker. We're not sure that our graphic is going to show exactly what's here, as there was some horseplay going on after the checkered flag. We're showing A.J. Hamill, Scott Negus, Eric Ezere, the rum runner Glenn Jameson, and Luke Logan Allen rounding out your top 10. Partner?
Yeah, coming home in 11th place, a driver that led some laps, Chris Worrell. Coming home in 12th, Jeff Lemire. 13th place will go to Jerry Isaacs tonight. Brian Bianchi caught up in that last restart accident. He'll come home 2 laps down in 14th place. Brian Johnson will come home in 15th. Gavin Adams having a little bit of a tough night tonight, will come home in 16th place. Roger Hurley running up front early, caught in an accident, comes home in 17th place. Tom Hilbert, he'll come home in 18th place. Todd Cousins, 19th place tonight. And Robert Garisco will round out the top 20.
Joshua Buckley, Torrance Childs, Brian Neff got that third place qualifying position, didn't get the result to show for it. He finishes in 23rd with the Racing Rev, the Lipper, Chris Hazlip, last on the field. Okay. We get to talk to Eric Stout. Bring him in. I'll give him his question.
From your first note to your next big thing, your sound is our obsession. All the gear you need. Advice from people who get it. Sweetwater.
On this ship, you represent His Royal Majesty and shall dress accordingly. So
Sorry, is there any leeway on the uniform? Flippy floppies, perhaps?
Silence!
Think about it.
No!
Right.
Eric, it's Soup.
What's up, my brother?
Let's go right to any doubts about stopping for tires. We noticed the cars were getting really squirrely out there before that pit stop.
I thought if we got one really long run or a couple lengthy runs, that it would make sense. I actually wasn't even sure what lap it was when that caution came out, but no hesitation on that one, and felt like I had enough time to make my way through the field. And then luckily everyone sort of migrated to the bottom, and it was like, I had a jetpack on. I think I passed like 4 or 5 cars just rolling the top, and then actually stupidly got down because that was how Todd got by me. But no, we were just talking in the staging there.
Just to interrupt you, that was a mistake on the chessboard there. You were rolling the top. We saw it during the race, and then you got down and lost your advantage.
Yeah, it was like bad timing because with James and Chris were right up front there, and then all of a sudden Chris was racing James super hard for the lead, and I was sort of joking to myself like if they were just throwing a roadblock to keep me back there, but I made some incidental contact with Chris there. He made a nice save, so luckily that didn't cause a caution or anything like that. But you're trying to make a read, and I knew that Ken at least had fresh tires behind me, and he had been really strong all race. So you're trying to make, split-second decisions and, just choose the path of least resistance, and I thought that was going to be it. But it all worked out. Good qualifying effort. AJ and I worked really hard on it. We were prepared for the spicy conditions after the sun went down. It didn't look like most folks were. So, really just when I saw how things sort of shuffled after qualifying, I thought, just like get out there and hold court and manage my pace. I actually still felt pretty good. They weren't really catching me, Ken and Chris and James. I was kind of keeping an eye on the gap. Ken would make a little incremental gain, and then, I put a couple good ones together. I don't know that I necessarily wanted to go, 40 more on the old tires, but I think I could have. So either way, it worked out. Unfortunately, James, as crafty as he is, didn't allow me to take a machete to this one. It was more of a scalpel. So, still clawing back from the South Boston mess. Long way to go, but I think I'm on the right track.
Plenty of time. Best way to do it is get yourself a win. We'll see you on the next one. Congratulations.
Thanks, Soup. See you guys.
Eric Teapot Stout, your winner tonight. All right, I think my partner's going to get to talk to James Lowe.
Absolutely. James, congratulations on getting a second place run, because it was a little bit iffy there at the end, which is what I want to ask you about. We saw you do it before in previous races. That caution comes out late in the race. You choose to stay out. What was your thinking on that? And another question with that, how much was the car changing handling-wise during this race, or was it? We saw a lot of drivers kind of struggling.
Yeah, I mean, the caution there at the end, it was, I was hoping, with it being Lanier, I was hoping a lot more cars would have stayed out, but they didn't, and, that's part of it. But we actually managed to save tires pretty good. I ran my fast lap on lap 140, so I was pretty impressed with that. And then when those guys came, I just let them go. I didn't have no fight for them. And I was, all those cautions helped me. I was really good for a few laps, and then it would go back to getting super loose. So I didn't really have any fight for them guys up there, but luckily, whatever happened up there up top, helped me out and let me get a second place.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's going to be a big points night for you. You came in tied with Luke Logan Allen. He had a little bit of trouble, comes home in 10th place tonight, so a fantastic points night. The only driver that gained any points on you was Eric Stout, who's a little bit further down the standings. So that's going to take me to my next question. I'll get you out here on this one. Next week, you guys go to Stafford. It's another tough track, 200 laps there. What are your thoughts there in this Tour Modified?
Yeah, I mean, Stafford's been good to me in other leagues, so I mean, we'll see what happens, man.
He was trying to do the right thing, get out of everybody's way, one versus the many, and it just got the end of it there, and I actually got some wheel damage, so I'd pretty much counted myself out, just trying to salvage what I could, and I'm
Ready to gear up? What happens when gravity meets two wheels? Well, that depends on what you put beneath them. Mountains, forest, desert. Where are you going to put gravity to the test? Where's your backcountry? Get the best selection of Gearhead-approved MTB gear at backcountry.com.
Hercules delivers professional performance and durability at prices that pull their weight. New tools, innovative technology, and a hassle-free warranty to back it up. Hercules, only at Harbor Freight.
I don't know what happened on that last lap, if I was any cause of it or anything. If I was, then yeah.
I think you're good. I think they owed you one. Talk about the wheel damage. My partner was sitting next to me, and he said, Soup, sometimes you get that wheel damage, and the car's not as bad as you think it is. You were really effective. The car was looked like it was rotating.
Yeah, it was pretty decent on the outside. It kind of felt a little tight on the inside, but we made it work. I guess we didn't have to make it work too long on the inside, though.
Yeah. Congratulations! It was a heartbreaking and then a very rejoiceful third place for you. Glad we get to talk to you. Well done, buddy.
Thank you, Soup.
Todd Liston, your third place finisher tonight. Okay, that's going to do it here for our broadcast, except for the business at hand of what's coming up next. We're going to show you right now. Look, they're all stacked up in a line for you. Kentucky, you got Bourbon if you want to go there. Myrtle Beach, you like turtles? There's you go to that. Auto Club Speedway, we got nothing there because there's no racetrack there anymore. Hey, how about some you go get some clam chowder in New Hampshire. And then, if you like spiders and steaks, well, how about Stafford? All of those are a production of the Virtual Grip Network, plus future and past broadcasts. On behalf of all the little faces you see there, half of them have beards on their faces. We'd like to thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast, and we'll try to do better next time. Until then, have fun storming the castle.